Columbia, South Carolina home buyers need to plan for many costs when buying a house. Columbia is a great place to live, but it's not getting any more cheap. If you're looking for your next South Carolina home, then you'll want to think about the following expenses before you make it to the closing table. This includes down payments, closing costs, inspections, and earnest money. With planning and help from an experienced real estate professional like us at the Latimore Group, we can make sure that you get exactly what you want from your home buying experience. We will explore the costs I mentioned so far so that you know what expenses are involved with owning your home. If you want access to our home buying and home selling guides containing answers to many of your questions and a detailed explanation of current market opportunities, then just drop the word "remind me" below. We will be more than happy to help you out. Hi, I'm Latoya Latimore, broker and team owner of the Latimore Group. We help soon-to-be property owners and existing property owners with real estate so that they can build wealth through real estate without making costly mistakes. We do this by providing a dedicated team of real estate experts, our circle of trusted partners, disruptive digital marketing for our sellers, and cutting-edge technology for our buyers to create an unforgettable experience. I am here with your weekly episode of Are We Home Yet? So let's begin. Buying a house is one of the biggest investments you can make. It's also an emotional decision that will impact your life for decades to come. If you're even remotely thinking about buying a home, it's worth doing some research first to make sure you know what you are getting into and how much money you need to buy a house in Columbia, South Carolina and surrounding areas. This video will give you some information on what factors influence the cost of homes, as well as how much money people typically spend when they purchase their first homes. If you're thinking about buying a house in South Carolina, you'll need to know how much money you need to save up. Here's a breakdown of the costs associated with home ownership in South Carolina, areas such as Columbia, Blythewood, Lexington, Irmo, Sumter, and surrounding areas. The first cost I want to cover is earnest money. If you are a first-time home buyer, you are probably wondering what earnest money is and what happens to it once you've made the payment. Earnest money is a cash deposit that you make to the seller when you submit your offer on a home. It's essentially a show of your good faith. You're promising to buy the house. If the seller accepts your offer, the amount of earnest money varies, but it's typically 1 to 2% of the purchase price. In a competitive market, you can expect to pay at least 1% of the purchase price. Once the seller accepts your offer, you may be given a specific period to inspect the property. This is when things can get tricky. If the house has any major problems that you've missed during your initial walkthrough, and you still want to purchase the home, you may decide to ask for a lowering of the price, since there are new costs associated with owning this home. If you choose not to purchase your home after performing your due diligence, then 100% of your earnest money can be refunded to you. That is, if contingencies are considered in your purchase contract. There are other contingencies that your realtor can work into your contract to ensure your earnest money is saved. Sitting down and completing a consultation before you begin viewing homes will be the best opportunity to fully understand this topic. I have seen earnest money as high as 6%. And the last thing you want to do is lose your earnest money because you do not fully understand your purchase contract. The next cost to consider when buying a home is the cost for inspections. Since the onus is on you, the home buyer, to ensure the condition of the home meets your standards, then you, the home buyer, will be responsible for the cost of inspecting the home. You are not required to have inspections unless your mortgage underwriter stipulates this as a condition to fund your loan. However, it is highly recommended to detect any material and costly repairs that you do not want to be responsible for. Once you take ownership of the home, you will be surprised at what types of things pop up the first day that you move into it, especially if the home has been sitting vacant for a while. Replacing a roof or a heating and air system can put your vacation plans on hold or take significant money from your emergency funds. In Columbia, the typical inspections completed include but are not limited to the home inspection, roof, HVAC system, and CO100, which is a termite inspection. In the state of South Carolina, it is not a matter of if you will get termites, but more so a matter of when. Therefore, most Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac backed loans will require a clear CO100 letter. You can expect to pay an amount of money ranging from $100 to $600 per inspection. Next, let's talk about down payment. Be sure not to mix this up with closing costs. The two are separate and each costs more than a pretty penny. Make sure your real estate professional and your lender explain this to you in great detail so that you know how much you can expect to pay at the closing table. In most cases, you will need to save for a down payment. It used to be the norm to save at least 20% of the home's purchase price for a down payment. On a home purchase of $300,000, that is $60,000. Thank goodness times have changed. You could be eligible for a property with as little as 3.5% down, or in certain cases, no money down, on loan alternatives such as VA or USDA. Going back to a purchase price of $300,000, that with a down payment of 3.5%, that would actually put you at $10,500 as opposed to $60,000. That's a huge difference, and certainly more obtainable for most Americans. Finally, let's cover closing costs. This is a cost that most home buyers expect the seller to cover for them. I'm sure with what we have covered so far, the numbers are really adding up pretty quickly and are probably approaching $10,000 or more. Well, it is my obligation to help you understand your true costs so that you can properly prepare for such an important journey. The days of sellers covering your closing costs are not really the norm anymore. So here's what you need to understand. It is common for the seller to cover the home buyer's closing costs when there are more houses for sale than people who are interested in buying them, which is known as a buyer's market. On the other hand, when you are purchasing a home in a seller's market, negotiation on this issue may fall to the home buyer. This condition arises when there are more home buyers searching for homes than there are homes for sale. In this case, the seller has the upper hand and often has multiple offers to choose from. If you can effectively negotiate your closing costs with the seller, it can save you a significant amount of money. Otherwise, you will need to be prepared to save additional money. The average closing cost amount is about 3 to 5% of the total purchase price of the home. The loan type you choose and other factors weigh in on how much your closing costs will actually be. We have now covered all of the important out-of-pocket costs to prepare for your home. Now, let's briefly touch on other expenses you should budget for when purchasing a property. In addition to saving for a down payment and closing costs, you should budget for things such as your moving costs, possible renovations or repairs, paying off any debts to qualify for a loan, home insurance, and property taxes. Well, you're probably wondering why home insurance and property taxes? Well, it is not often that you will need to pay these annual expenses up front, but sometimes your lender may require this be included as a payment due from you at closing for your escrow account. Again, this is not always the case, but if this is the case, be prepared to bring another $2,000 to $4,000 or so to the closing. So now that we have talked about these expenses, let's paint a clear picture of your potential total amount needed to buy your first home. I have a few examples for you to see visually. Please keep in mind that these are just examples for illustration purposes only, and the amount that you will actually spend can vary depending on your loan, interest rates, fees, and other factors. The data included in these examples are collected from the Consolidated Multiple Listing Service for single-family homes in 2021. And all I've included is the average sales price and the average days on market from the CMLS. Now, here are the figures. I hope this information has been helpful for you, and we look forward to you tuning in again for the Are We Home Yet weekly episodes. If you would like to speak with an expert about buying a home for the first time, or second or third time or so, or you're just interested in how much money it takes on average to purchase a house, then let's get together for a consultation. It's free, and we'll discuss all these options. The Latimore Group is here to help, we're here to serve, and more importantly, we are here to help you build wealth through real estate. So give us a call. Bye-bye for now.